Coming up on the 25th of March will be our production of our 70th anniversary of the Legion, since the beginning of the Legion. We were looking at what we could do as we were coming up to the 70th, and kind of hashed around a few things to see what we could put together. And we decided that we would honor the 15 members behind me that came up with the idea, because everything has to have a beginning. And these guys came up with the original idea, and that's how they formed the Legion. Big problem in the past was during World War I, our guys that did serve in the military came home to nothing. Same thing with our World War II veterans. We didn't have a Legion here on the territory. So they came up with the idea in 1951 to get all the veterans that had served. And we looked at the numbers, were about 178. That's a high per capita for this community. Back then it was probably 3,000, community members. And they came up with the original idea to go ahead and do the Legion. The founder, Cyclone Taylor, was a person that was always at Lachine Legion, Branch 90. And he's the one that derived the idea of having a parade here originally, so they did that in 1951. They had 15 members that were participating, as the core members, the charter members. And they decided to go ahead and, hey, why don't we make our own Legion, instead of having to go off the reserve, which was a good idea because our guys had nowhere to go. Had to go off the territory in order to talk to other veterans, and only veterans understand what another veteran had gone through. So that's who you want to share your stories, your whatever things that you have encountered while you were in the service. So these guys came up with that idea and formed the Legion. They got a charter. We became part of the Royal Canadian Legion, and 70 years later, here we are. So we put that in plan, and on the 25th, we're going to execute that plan. We're going to have a kind of like a gala, a military gala, not too rigid on the military side. A lot of us have been out of the service for a while, but we want to keep that type of flavor within the program. We're going to have a big celebration. We're going to bring in the 15. Those members are all gone. So we're going to bring in their 15 family members. They're going to represent those individuals. And we're going to give them a small token, a plaque, thanking those original members for coming up with the idea of starting this Legion. And here we are, like I said, huge building, nice place for the veterans to hang out and their families. So that's our plan.
Well, on the 25th, there's like what Ray says, that we invited the family members of the 15 chartered members, plus some dignitaries. It's just to go through a brief history of how the Legion started, and then from there we're going to go, we're going to be passing out plaques, and we're going to have a nice dinner and a few speeches, a few toasts. We're trying to kick our 70th off with this dinner, and then throughout the year we're going to have a number of things. And after today, you're going to notice on the highway we had banners made for all of our chartered members, and they're going to be posted on the telephone poles. It's going to be from here, right at the corner here. There's the first pole, and it's going to go down towards the cenotaph. We got First Nations that volunteered to help us to put up the poles, because you need that lift and so on and so forth. Well, it's only invite for this one particular event. We wish we could invite everybody, but unfortunately we just don't have the room for it.